All right, so are you ready to really dive deep into the future of learning?
I am.
Because today we're going to be exploring next generation learning solutions. We're not talking about, your grandma's textbooks. We're
Mhm.
talking about cutting edge stuff here. We're going to be unpacking insights from the Brandon Hall Group HCM Excellence Awards winners. These are the rock stars of the learning world,
Hey,
folks.
they are.
And we're going to see what they're doing that's really shaking things up. You know what's got me really excited is how these solutions are totally changing the learning game. It's not about just passively absorbing information anymore.
It's definitely not.
We're talking about active and personalized experiences. One of the most mind-blowing trends we're seeing is AI-powered personalization. Imagine a learning platform that's basically a personal trainer, but for your brain.
I love that. And what's really cool here is how this technology actually uses the way our brains learn best. So picture this.
Yeah.
You've got this AI tutor, and it's analyzing your learning patterns. Like
Hmm.
maybe you're someone who flies through visual content,
Right.
but then you get to audio, and it's like hitting a brick wall. This AI tutor gets that, and then it automatically suggests articles or videos that work for you. It can even connect you with mentors who specialize in the areas where you're like, ugh, I need help.
That's amazing. So it's creating a customized learning journey just for you. That's incredible. And speaking of personalized experiences, we can't forget about immersive technologies. Things like VR and AR are just blowing up right now. I mean, imagine stepping into a VR simulation. You could practice complex surgical procedures or troubleshoot an engine malfunction,
Oh, wow.
all without any real-world consequences.
Yeah, that's the beauty of it. Those immersive technologies really tap into the power of experiential learning. And by the way, experiential learning is ridiculously effective.
Mhm.
Our brains don't just soak up information like a sponge. We learn best when we're actively engaged and we're getting our hands dirty.
Oh,
You know,
absolutely.
think about it. We all have that one thing that we learn best by actually doing it right.
Totally. I'm never going to forget that time I tried to bake a cake from online instructions only. Let's just say it was a disaster.
Oh, no.
But hey, I learned a lot about following recipes the hard way.
Exactly. And these simulations, they give you a safe space to experiment. You can make mistakes and learn from them without any real-world fallout. And ultimately, that leads to a much deeper understanding and you remember things better.
Okay, so we've got personalized AI tutors and VR simulations. This is amazing. But there's another major shift happening here. Learning is no longer a solo sport. It's becoming a team effort. Companies are ditching those siloed learning programs and going for a more collaborative approach. It's like the difference between trying to solve a puzzle by yourself in the dark versus having a team in a well-lit room working together.
Oh, I love that analogy.
Huh.
Because when you have different departments collaborating on learning design, you get a much more well-rounded learning experience. Let's say you're training a new marketing assistant.
Yeah.
Instead of just teaching them about social media, which is obviously important, imagine getting input from sales, product development, even customer service.
Oh, wow. So they're not just stuck in a bubble. They're getting a 360-degree view of how their role impacts the entire company.
Exactly. And that leads to more relevant training. The training is better aligned with what they actually need to do their job.
Yeah.
And it shows employees that what they're learning is directly tied to the company's success. That right there boosts engagement and motivation big time.
It's a win-win for everyone. All right, so we've covered personalized learning powered by AI, the rise of immersive technologies, and this really cool shift towards collaborative learning design.
What's next?
On our deep dive into next-gen learning solutions, so we've talked about these cool AI tutors and VR simulations, which is really cool and all, but honestly, who really enjoys those, boring old e-learning modules?
Yeah, but
So yesterday, next-gen learning is all about making learning actually fun.
it's about time, right?
Right. Seriously engaging stuff. So let's talk about gamification. This is using game mechanics to make learning seriously addictive.
Oh yeah, gamification is huge.
Imagine earning badges for completing modules. You could level up your skills or even compete with your colleagues on a virtual leaderboard.
Some friendly competition.
Right.
I mean, it's not just about making learning fun, though, of course, that's a huge plus. Gamification actually taps into our brain's natural reward system. So when we earn points, badges, recognition, our brain's like, woo,
Yeah.
dopamine.
Oh.
And that makes us feel good and makes us want to keep going,
So we're basically tricking our brains into craving knowledge.
pretty much.
I like it.
And this is where those data-driven insights that we were talking about earlier come in. Imagine a platform that's tracking your progress.
Okay.
It's identifying your strengths and weaknesses. And it's even predicting which skills you need to focus on to totally crush it in your field.
So it's like having a personalized roadmap for your career. It's guiding you towards those really high demand skills. Now, that's what I call future-proof learning. But it's not all about virtual badges and leaderboards.
Right.
What about actually taking those shiny new skills and applying them in realistic situations?
Totally. That's where scenario-based learning comes in. So instead of just like memorizing facts and
Ah,
figures,
right.
you're thrown into these super realistic scenarios,
Mm.
and you have to use what you've learned to solve problems,
Mm.
make decisions. You even get to see the consequences of your actions, good or bad.
It's like that moment in a cooking show where they suddenly stop giving you instructions. And they're like, all right, now make it your own. Kind of nerve-wracking, but also exciting, right?
Exactly. And that's where the real learning magic happens. When you're challenged to think critically, adapt to new situations,
Ah,
and collaborate with others to find solutions.
mm-mm.
Remember, the future of work is all about adaptability and problem solving.
Absolutely. So we've covered the how of next-gen learning, the personalized experiences, the engaging content, the collaborative design. But there's a really crucial element we haven't touched on yet, and that's measuring impact. How do we actually know if all this cool stuff is translating into real-world results?
That's the million-dollar question, right?
Yeah.
And it's something that traditional learning often struggles with. But next-gen learning solutions, they're all about proving their worth. We're
Yeah.
talking about data-driven insights that go way beyond just checking a box that says, yep, I completed the training.
Right. It's not just about knowledge retention anymore.
It's exactly. Yeah. Think about a dashboard that not only tracks your progress, but also measures how well you're applying those new skills on the job.
Wow.
It's about connecting learning to tangible business outcomes.
And in today's crazy competitive job market that is huge, anyone can say, oh, yeah, I have these skills. But being able to actually demonstrate those skills, to show how you've used them to make a real impact, well, that's what sets you apart. This has been incredibly insightful so far. We've unpacked personalized learning paths, gamification, the power of immersive technologies, even how companies are measuring the impact of these new approaches. But there's one final piece of the puzzle we need to explore, and that is the rise of personalized learning journeys. Okay, so we're in the home stretch of our deep dive into next-gen learning. We've talked about AI tutors, immersive technologies measuring impact. But there's one more game changer we need to unpack: personalized learning journeys.
Yeah, it's funny. We always talk about learning paths, like there are these fixed routes in a map. But what if we ditched the map completely and went for a more personalized approach?
Now you've got me curious. What would that even look like?
Okay, so imagine a learning experience that's not just tailored to your skills and goals right now,
Mm-hmm.
but it actually adapts as you grow and evolve. It's less about following a predetermined path and more about going on this continuous journey of discovery.
So instead of just checking off boxes on a checklist, it's about fostering a mindset of lifelong learning, continuously exploring new things.
Exactly, and that's where the magic really happens, when we empower people to take charge of their own development, to chase after what they're passionate about, to see learning as this exciting adventure. That's when we unlock true potential.
And speaking of unlocking potential, we've talked a lot about hard skills, but what about soft skills? How do they fit into this whole next-gen learning thing?
Oh, soft skills are absolutely essential, especially in today's world where everything's changing so fast.
Yeah.
Things like adaptability, communication, creativity, critical thinking, leadership. Those are the skills that will make you stand out in the future job market.
So it's almost like soft skills are the foundation, and then all those technical skills, they're built on top of that foundation.
Exactly. Think about it. You can teach someone how to code,
Yeah.
but can you teach them how to be a good team player? Or how to navigate tricky social situations, how to think outside the box? Those are skills you learn through experience, through collaboration, by being willing to embrace discomfort and grow.
So it sounds like next-gen learning isn't just about getting new knowledge or mastering technology. It's about developing a mindset of continuous learning, of embracing the unknown, of always pushing ourselves beyond our comfort zones.
You got it. It's about recognizing that the most important skill is the ability to learn, adapt, and evolve, to become those experience architects we talked about, always looking for new challenges and opportunities to grow.
This deep dive has been seriously eye-opening. I feel like I've not only learned a ton about the future of learning, but I'm also kind of pumped for my own personal and professional development now.
That's fantastic to hear. That's what it's all about, helping people become active participants in their own growth, to embrace continuous learning, and to really unlock their full potential in this rapidly changing world.
Well said. And on that note, we're going to wrap up this deep dive into next generation learning solutions We've explored some really amazing ideas today, but remember, this is just the beginning. The conversation doesn't end here. We want to hear from you. What resonated with you the most? What excites you about the future of learning? What challenges or questions do you have? Join the conversation on our social media channels, and let's keep this learning journey going together. Until next time, keep those minds curious, keep exploring, and keep on learning.